This content is intended to be used and must be used for informational purposes only. It's very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. The Better Traders is not a broker-dealer. We are not an investment advisor. We have no access to non-public information about publicly traded companies or cryptocurrencies. And this is not a place for the giving or receiving of financial advice, advice concerning investment decisions, or tax or legal advice. The value of investments and the income derived from them can go down as well as up. Investors may not get back the amount they invested, and past performance is not a guide to future performance. What's up, guys? It's me, Moon and Papa, and I am on the wrong screen and went to that browser screen. Dang it. I thought I got it all figured out. Yes, things are like way cooler now on the live stream for all of you. So I spent some time to try to like upgrade. How do I don't even get the angle. It's really hard to do this inverted. But anyway, but thank you for hanging out. I just want to make sure the volume is good. Good. All right. So just so you know that this live stream is supposed to be 30 minutes long. It's pretty short. And I'm going to be focusing mainly on what I'm seeing in the markets. I'm going to be talking briefly about the FOMC meeting and some notes that Jerome Powell made. But really, I just want to look at the charts and give you guys some tips and tricks and help you to understand what I'm focusing on right now when it comes to trading. So if you are new to this live stream, you just happen to pop onto it, understand that here on youtube.com, you can go over and of course you can subscribe to my channel. That'd be great. But I have live streams that happen every single week at this time, which is my 11 a.m. Japan Standard Time, which this week it is 10 p.m. New York time, and it would be 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so like LA time. But this weekend is daylight savings time for North America. So just understand that it doesn't change. We don't have daylight savings time here in Japan. So my 11 a.m. will now be 9 p.m. East Coast time, which will be 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So it's a little bit, everything's getting shifted. I think that's where it's going. I think so. But anyway, yeah, feel free to notify yourself. I don't have to be notified. I'm pretty good about this, knowing when things happen. So again, the purpose of this live stream is to help give you guys some tools, some ideas, and just to clarify a little bit about what I'm seeing in the market. I've been posting lots of videos about bot trading. I've been posting lots of videos and like updates regularly, weekly about Bitcoin. So I just want to briefly go over a couple of those things, those thoughts that I have, and share if I think anything has really changed since Jerome Powell did his, dropped a dookie on the markets. So over here, looking at the Dow is actually the first and best place to look. I actually shared this setup over at the Better Traders Club yesterday, just letting people know. And I was also giving them a whole lot of like heads up too. You can see over here. I mean, I shared it from mobile, but I was saying, yeah, you might want to watch out right there. It doesn't look too good because we're hitting on this strong line of resistance, which we can clearly see over here on the chart for trading views. So of course this is the weekly chart. So on the daily, yeah, it was knocking on heaven's door with guns and roses in arms. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of typical to expect a pullback like that. What's more confusing though is not really the setup. Like this was to be expected, a rejection here. What I find more confusing is that the Dixie hasn't really overreacted like I was expecting it to. And the VIX hasn't overreacted either. The VIX actually fell a little bit, which doesn't make sense to me. I find that a little bit confusing. So I still think it's good that we're not seeing a huge crazy sell-off. It's only down 1% or so. It's not even that bad. I was really expecting a big rejection right here and a lot of fear in the market, but I'm not really seeing it, which is really weird. The reason, by the way, that I look at the VIX is because this is the volatility index. I believe this is the short-term index, rather short-term volatility. So on days like FOMC meetings and notes and stuff like that released, this should really move up a whole lot more. And it hasn't. which I think is good. We can also see that reflected in the Dixie, which is the US dollar currency index. I shared this in the Better Traders Club this morning. It's just a thought, just an idea. Usually I never ever draw trend lines like this based on the candle close, but I just thought it was kind of interesting. So I'm going to keep that in my back pocket and think about it. But really, if we zoom out and we look at this to see what we're up against right now, we have this massive line of support right here. Nothing has really changed in regards to the Dixie and the TBO. I mean, everything is still curving up. It's curling up on the weekly time frame, which means it's going to take a whole lot more to fall down. If I go to the daily time frame, we've seen this happen a couple of times before as well. So that, again, it's not super convincing to me that we're going to go down. Like, here's a similar situation, right? Here's a similar situation, and basically we got the same thing happening. So here are two scenarios that are possible. One scenario is that the Dixie just continues to move up higher. And if it does, my next termination zone, next place I expect it to stop is going to be here at about 120. Mainly because we have all this resistance. And also if I zoom out over here and go back, well, basically 20 years ago plus, we're looking at a previous high of 120. If that happens, expect all markets to crash. Like, having the Dixie go up higher would be an inverse correlation to a falling S&P, falling Dow, falling Bitcoin, everything. I think that's possible. I really hope we don't see that happen, of course, but that's the one scenario where we're just going to see a continuation, and the next target would actually, we can actually measure that out right now. The next target, we're looking at this kind of move. So let's measure this. It looks pretty similar. So 8%. So another 8% target would put us topping out at around 118. Again, on the bearish side of things. But the bullish side of things is not too far out of reach. The reason I say that is because if we look at the RSI, actually I want to be over here. RSI is slowly dropping, ever so slowly dropping. Not super convincing yet, but it is dropping. Here on the daily, it unfortunately tapped 25, and now it's coming back up. Usually it's a really good, especially on a really bullish chart. This is a great entry, a re-entry place. But one thing I do like about this so far is that in regards to the TBO, let me remove support and let me hide this for just a minute. Or no, I need this. Right here. We've only really seen the TBO come down into this line right here. So that line is right here. I'm going to make this a little bit brighter so you can see it. So this last line, so we have the fast line, medium fast, medium slow, slow. So here's fast line, medium fast, medium slow, slow. I just want you to pay attention to the price coming down here and touching the medium slow line. So the first time it hit it and bounced off was back in May 2022. Then we have it almost touching and then breaking below here in August and then going up higher. And now we have a similar break in play. So we're basically looking at the same thing right here. So the bullish possible outcome right now is that if for some reason stocks decide to go with this whole theory of a Christmas rally, this is typically the time where we should start to see the markets rally up higher, although we did hit resistance like I showed on the Dow's chart, DJI. But this would be the time to see a rally, which should make the DXY fall, which should make stocks go up higher and Bitcoin to go higher. That would be the bullish scenario, the bullish outlook. As far as that happening, well, to me, it's honestly like 60-40. 60%, I do believe it's going to happen. I do believe that the DXY is going to continue to go sideways and just stay under 113 for quite a while, to allow room for the Dow to move up. Now, there are a couple things that you've got to know about this. One thing for certain is that breaking above this line would be very bullish and very unexpected. So we'll see about that. So this is working against me right now. It makes more sense for DJI to fall down to 28 again. So that drop of 10% would be magnified by 2 or 3 for Bitcoin. So a 20% drop for BTC would put it back down here to 16K. So things could be getting pretty ugly. But again, thinking about this Halloween effect leading into the Christmas rally, I am expecting a rally in the markets. As stupid and crazy as that sounds, it does make sense to me. One thing that I am liking about Bitcoin specifically right now is that on the daily time frame, we can see here that RSI is still respecting this trend, which is amazing. I love it because I love charting stuff like this. It is so interesting to me. So even though the price really hasn't reacted yet, and we had a small mini rally last week, we didn't even get close to 22K. And could you sense the euphoria in the market after just a move of like 8%? There's nothing happened for BTC. Of course, all the action was for Doge. Doge pumped up crazy. And I got a really nice trade out of it, not from down here, of course, but just trading this range. So yeah, there's a lot of excitement in the market. There's a lot of big movement happening in the market right now. I don't think the market is dead. I think that we're going to see an end of year push. That's what I'm banking on. That's how I am trading the market right now, is I'm expecting there to be a push. So how does this translate into my trading style? So right now, I've just been watching Bitcoin. I do expect Bitcoin to kind of go sideways. I don't expect another move up just because it's already made a hump up and now it's starting to come down. That means that for at least the next week or so, I am definitely going to be trading against Bitcoin. So I'm looking at alts against BTC. So like ETH-BTC, AVAX BTC, whatever BTC. I'm not AVAX, not Avalanche for any specific reason. I'm just listing off alts. So I'm not trading against stable coins. I'm not doing BTC USDT. I am buying Bitcoin in this range just because it looks like it could be a good entry. And it's a good accumulation zone. Could we go lower? Yeah, we could. But again, I'm leaning more towards the historically cyclical, or rather the cyclical nature of the end of year rally. I think that's what we're going to see, because we did see that in November in 2021. We saw that in November 2020. Just going quickly over here to the weekly chart. So we got, here we go, end of year, and here we go into October, and of course this rallied a lot higher, and then it fell. If we go over here, yes, of course this rallied all the way because it's the bull market. If we go back here, there was a little bit of a move up here in 2019 till the end of the year. Going back over here, this is obviously the bottom of the bear market for 2018, so there wasn't much of anything until Q1. So I am leaning more towards the argument that we're going to be moving up a little bit higher after we just go sideways a bit more. Another reason why I don't think Bitcoin's going to make any amazing moves just yet is because even though it's broken clear out of resistance last week, which accounts for that nice little move, I mean, it's not doing anything right now. There's no real excitement for BTC. Even though everything is pointing to the bullish side, nothing's really happening. If we look at Bitcoin dominance, it's only slowly starting to move up. If that, it's not looking that great compared to others, and compared to Ethereum. It's not really competing well with other alts. Therefore, I think it would be smart to trade against BTC. Now, if Bitcoin were to do something surprising, and by something surprising, I mean to break above 22K and go up higher to 24K. If that happens, if Bitcoin's even getting up close here, I'm going to stop trading against BTC and I'm going to start trading against USDT pairs. In theory, everything should start to pump a little bit just because it's been so oversold. If we go to others and look at the crypto market cap for others on the daily time frame, this is another reason why I'll have to update this chart too. Good grief. It's been a while. Because I've been paying more attention to everything else. So others right here, you can see, and let's get rid of this for now, because this just got broken. So we do have a support in play. We do have others, as far as the others market cap, above this trend line. We do have right there, you can see it, 2 TBO close shorts on the daily. That's bullish. And if we go to our RSI, which I have a feeling I know what it is, it's already into overbought, but we can see that it's moving up. This is starting to move up. And we're also seeing something else form with the TBO that I like a lot. So I can see the line starting to curl up. This is why I'm leaning more towards trading alts right now for short-term gains and taking profits in BTC, because if Bitcoin does have a rally, then it's going to be a nice little rally that could move up, you know, another 20% or so. So I'm trying to trade against BTC, not expecting a lot of these other alts to really make enormous moves just yet. I'm just waiting for BTC to make its move first, to stall out, and then alts should run. BTC makes its moves, stalls out, alts should run, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. So we're in that area right now where I think there are some good entries revealing themselves. I'm actually working on the watch list for this upcoming live stream for the Better Traders Club. And if you don't know what the Better Traders Club is, it's fantastic. Private, well, I can't even speak because I'm trying to click around. It's a private Discord channel where I have live streams, I have watch lists, I have curated DCA bots, I have news, I have signals, tools, a ton of stuff. You've heard me talk about the Better Traders Club before. I have a live stream coming up this next week on my Tuesday, which would be Monday night, and the watch list is already shaping up to be amazing. And there's been a lot of really, really good stuff happening with the current bots that I created, or rather I shared for injection protocol, I believe. So if I go to INJ, I called this one, you know, at the end of the last one. So back here on Monday, and it's been treating us really, really, really well on our bots. So you could also be trading this one against BTC. Again, this is a really amazing setup. Stuff like this is taking place, and notice how much more bullish this is compared to the USDT pair. We're just seeing this crossover now. It looks like a twist. See this right here in the TBO. So the cloud is so red. Gray's telling us it could transition, it could change over to being green, and here we got confirmed green, and everything is starting to curl up. Now look at it against BTC. Oh, we have to bring this back, and then we do this. See how much cleaner this twist is, and it's much more gradual. Like, this is the kind of stuff where I'm talking about in the club. It's like, this is a great pair for DCA bot. So I want to share one thing with you. Let me check my time. Great. I want to share one thing with you, one chart that I found this morning, and I've already placed trades for it on 3 commas, and I'm just waiting for them to be filled. I would love to show you, but I want to wait till I get filled so you guys don't edge me out. But this is a chart where I am waiting happily. I am waiting on it to get, let me just see real quick. No, okay. Sorry, I was checking another chart. This is one where I'm looking at this going, this one has me really excited. This is one that I'm personally entering, and I'll give you a couple of reasons why. One, if I zoom out and just look at the chart, actually, let's go to the weekly time frame. You're going to see this much more clearly. This is the weekly time frame. The last time the chart for BNT was down here in this range was May 2020. May 2020. So it's been over 2 years. It's been 2.5 years almost since BNT's been down here. Now, this chart overall is not bullish at all. I mean, you can see the chart is clearly trending down, but just because it's trending down doesn't mean that it's a decent setup, in my opinion. So things that caught my eye, one is that we're looking at this right here. The fact that we are at support, it could continue to fall. There is that reality, but I like that about this chart. The other thing I like about this chart a whole lot is seeing these wicks right here. These wicks are indicating pumps, obviously, but these pumps are very short-lived. If I click on this and go to the hourly time frame, there they are. These are literal just huge fat pumps of entities buying 2 days apart, 35% both days. I like that a lot. The other thing I like about that too is that we've had these two big pumps. There's volume coming into the chart now. You can see on the TBT base to quote currency converter. Let me bring the indicator titles. So TBT base to quote, I'm seeing the 30-day moving average for volume increase. I like that a lot as well. So let me bring this back down. The other thing, obviously, I like about this chart is that here on the daily time frame, we got 1, we got 2, we got 3 close short, actually 4. I like seeing a lot of these. This to me tells me this is basically just a warning. Hey, you might want to take profits if you're in a short position, or you might want to watch out because the trend could be changing. We got 4 of those, not in a row, but just 4 of them. I like that. I also like how the price has basically found its bottom. We got these 2 big pumps that are giving us pretty strong support. We haven't seen any move yet. The other thing that I really like about this, I know I'm talking a lot about it, but I'm trying to teach you something here. The other thing that I really like about this too is that if I go ahead and just zoom in, I'm going to draw another trend line from here to here. And then I'm going to draw another one. So I'm going to make a resistance fan. So turning off the TBO for now, there are, excuse me, a whole lot of lines of resistance up ahead. But we're nearing the end of the first one. I like this. I talked about this a lot 2-3 months ago, talking about the angle of the line of the resistance. So if resistance is almost straight up and down, if the angle is really, really sharp like this, it's going to be broken much quicker compared to it starting to flatten out. This is when you have resistance lines that are going to take a long time to break, and they're a lot stronger. So the angle of resistance when it's going mostly vertical is really weak. When it's horizontal, it's very strong. So looking at this, that's why I'm saying I'm expecting this to be broken pretty soon. It shouldn't be that hard. And I'm getting excited for this chart. The other thing I like about this chart as well, and let me get rid of all the drawings, is the fact that right here, the TBO cloud, let me show you right here, this part is starting to turn gray, which means that a trend change is coming. We have in process right now, we have an open long on the daily. It doesn't mean much though, because we could still see the price fall, and I think that would be normal given the price action of this thing where it's going up and down. We haven't really seen it come back down to this range yet. But I really like the fact that the cloud is just getting so tight. It's constricting so tight. If we go back in time, try to find something else that's similar to this. Yeah. So anytime I see this happening, we're getting really, really, really tight. I'm paying attention. I'm paying attention. It's almost like Bollinger Bands. When the Bollinger Bands get so close together, I'm paying attention because it means that we could be seeing a pump really soon. This pump that happened May 20th in one day was 32%. Wick to wick, it was actually a whole lot more. So this, yeah, 42%. Stuff like this, when we see just a whole lot of nothing happening, all it takes is just one of these pumps where a 40% move can turn into, oh, come on. 40% move could turn into 1,000% move. Now, it does matter about the time. Check out the time, right? So this is right after the Corona crash. So March, April, May, June, and then BTC was just going sideways and it allowed alts to fly, right? That's really amazing, isn't it? So look at what happened when Bitcoin was raging. What happened? Oh, well, this fell until Bitcoin started to top out. And then what happened in January? Alt season, and BNT made a run again. So if Bitcoin is going to stay stable and sideways and do a whole lot of nothing, then that would mean that BNT could have the freedom to run. So just looking at this as a naked chart, we're going to go ahead and take away all of the trend lines. I'm going to make this my, okay, there we go. Oops. Resistance fan. Just looking at this, really easy, right? You can clearly see the pattern, and this is not a beautiful drawing and it's not meant to be accurate, but look, we got this big fall down and then we haven't seen the move up yet. What does that look similar to? Right here. We're at this point right now. This is why I think it's really important to pay attention to BNT. Well, rather, I am paying attention to this. I'm seeing a setup that looks great. I'm seeing a setup that looks like it's found support. I'm seeing the TBO is starting to show signs of reversal, and we are near the bottom. Now, when you see setups like this, I want you to pay attention to something as well. And I'm going to leave, actually, I'm going to get rid of this. It's ugly. So when people were trading this, and let's go to the weekly chart just for clarity. And the clarity I'm trying to explain right here is the TBO resistance lines. And I keep talking about this thing, the TBO, TBO, TBO. If you go to thebettertraders.com and even in the description below this video, and it's also here on the side, the link is in the description. The TBO is an incredible trading indicator. I use it for everything. I use it to start bots. I use it to figure out what might be a good entry, what might be a good setup, things like that. So going back to TradingView, look at what happened historically speaking. So yes, we do have these incredible highs. It was listed all the way up here, if you can believe it, at 0.007 BTC. It's not worth that. But I want to just help shine some reality on this. Right now, it's currently down from its all-time highs, negative 99.71%. Okay, with that in mind, look at where it is from its previous peak. So it pumped, or rather, it dropped 98%, and then from there, it still didn't reach the top. It still didn't max out here to 0.001 BTC. It was still down 78.45%. So if we do the same thing again, 78.45%. So again, trying to be practical, it could top out here at, what is this, 5,000 sats? It could. All I'm trying to point out is that this whole idea is all about not getting greedy and trying to think about how things change over time. So did it go down the same amount over here from 2020 to 2022 as it did from 2018 to 2020? No, it didn't. It actually just moved up half that value. If I can do this, no, I can't shrink it. So if we're thinking about this, then we don't want to get greedy. This is another thing that a lot of people miss out on. When there are alt rallies, a lot of people get super duper greedy. Could this one pump, mega pump 700%? I mean, sure, why not? It's crypto. This is why I like trading this space. But it's more realistic to take profit slowly on the way up. Even this move up here to support is already a 50% win. A 50% win right now, or 47, 48% win, is a huge win. So don't get greedy. Don't get greedy at all right now. Just be really, really, really cautious and careful. Okay, the last thing that I'm just checking the Better Traders Club to see if there's anything else. I did post this chart in the Better Traders Club this morning. No, there's nothing else that I want to share right now. So ultimately, you just got to be safe. You got to be watching out for your portfolio all the time. There's a whole lot of uncertainty with the, oh, and I didn't talk about that. The FOMC meeting with Jerome Powell. Turns out he's hawkish, which means he's essentially bearish. So having him be hawkish, saying that essentially they are planning on, what was the phrase? I wrote it down here in the club. It says risk management is key here. Let me go to Discord. We go right here. Risk management is key here. If we were to over tighten, meaning if they were to raise or dramatically raise the BPS or the basis points or the inflation percentage rate, we could use our tools to support the economy later on. What does that mean? He means printing money. If we were to over tighten, if we were to raise rates too fast, we could use our tools to support the economy later on. What does that mean? Well, raising the rates too fast means that the market's going to crash. So he's saying that if we were to crash the market, we could support the economy later on. So they could inject funds, they could print more money. After making an insane rate hike, they could ease it up for the next one. So that way the the economy could take a breather after being, waterboarded. But this is the worst part. But if we failed to tighten enough, if we didn't raise rates high enough, this is the part right here. Inflation would become entrenched, and that would be a much bigger problem. So if you're not able to analyze what he's really saying, what he's really saying here is this. If we decided to raise rates right now, we could help the economy out by lowering rates in the future. That would help support the economy, plus printing money would help support the economy short term. But if they didn't tighten enough, but if they didn't raise rates high enough, inflation would become entrenched, and that would be a much bigger problem. So guess what's going to happen? They're not going to slow down. They're going to continue tightening up, and they're going to continue quantitative tightening. So they're going to continue this probably 75 basis points hike for a while. So one thing that would be good is that if they hold to their word, which it seems like they're going to, and if every single interest rate hike rate is going to be the same, 0.75%, if they stay the course, I hate that phrase, if they continue, or rather, if they keep their word and they do what they're saying they're going to do, then there's nothing really to worry about. Everything's going to be okay, because that's what everyone's expecting. Now, if they over tighten, that's going to hurt the economy. That's going to make a real bad crash. And that would honestly be the last card that we have to put on top to make it all fall down. One thing that would make it bullish is that if they decide, okay, everything's starting to slow down and inflation is coming down, yeah, right, and we're going to reduce our rate hikes, that would make the market really, really happy. So with that in mind, thinking about Bitcoin, thinking about traditional markets, so the plan right now, the realistic plan that I have is to continue moving sideways. If we look at our 2015 price action, we are right on target. I still think we're going to see a move up. I still think we're going to see a move up, at least into the cloud. So I also don't think that it's going to be a prolonged move up. I don't think we're going to 40K. I don't think we're doing anything like that. The closest thing we could probably do would be to, where is it? The CME gap. The closest thing that I could see us doing is closing the CME gap on a pump up, which would be great, and then a drop. Because a drop like that after more quantitative tightening and raising the interest rates would be a drop of 40% to give us a double bottom down here at 17.6, and everyone is happy. At least I'll be happy, and then we can go on. So again, I'm expecting in the market to see BTC slowly start to pull up, but I don't think it's going to be a sustained move. I think we're going to see it fall back down to 17.6 just because things are still not rosy in the economy. So tread lightly. There are great opportunities to continue to stack sats, and I will continue to trade against Bitcoin because this is one of the greatest opportunities that you're going to have. Looking back in 2 years at this time frame, looking at the price, just like looking back at the price for BTC 2 years ago, back in 2020, when it was down here at 8,000, guess what? I was stacking sats. I was trading against Bitcoin as much as I could because I knew that the price was going to explode up higher. And for all of you that got stuck over here in alt season and you thought this is amazing, these altcoins are going to go up forever, did they? No, most altcoins aren't going to survive. That's why I'm trading using altcoins against BTC to grow my Bitcoin stack, because Bitcoin's going to be the one currency to outlive them all. I'm not a BTC maximalist, but I do believe that Bitcoin's going to be the main currency to last. It just makes sense. So that's how I'm approaching the market. Let me go ahead and take a look at the comments real quick, because we are almost finishing up. So Doge, Elon, Mars. Are you serious? Is that really a ticker? That is really a ticker. Oh my gosh. Will you guys never learn? It is really a ticker. Doge, Elon, Mars. So Elon USDT. I mean, that price though, I mean, this is like sub cents. Like this is like beyond risky. So yeah, seeing it pump in one day 54%. Okay. I mean, I'm not going to touch anything like that, though. If you want to trade something, just trade Doge. I mean, this at least is, believe it or not, more reputable than Elon. So just be careful out there. Just be careful. And got one more question from Chris Keen. Any personal thoughts on the medium longer term prospects for DOT? Let me take a look. That was a big sigh. DOT. Well, my chart for DOT looks like this. It's in a good spot, to be honest. DOT's in a good spot, but I need one of those buttons. I need a sound. No, you guys don't want me to make a sound effects board. It's at support. I like this. I do see RSI is slowly starting to hold at 30. That's good. Volume isn't there in the least. This one is probably going to be a sleeper. If anything, this will be a lot like if you were here in the first alt season back in 2018, we saw lots of those fall down and nothing really happened until later. DOT's probably going to fall in line with that just because it's a competitor of Ethereum and there are lots of competitors right now. So my personal thoughts on the medium or longer term, well, it's very oversold. And I think it makes a whole lot of sense to see this break above this trend line and really respond, because it hasn't done that ever. So we're at support, which is good. I like that. No demand at all for DOT. Don't like that. So it might take some time. According to the TBO, we got two closed shorts. We had one right here, one right here. This one fell, of course, before moving up higher. This one fell and you would have gotten stopped out. But in regards to the TBO, I like how the slow line is starting to like it's landing. I like that. So it's a great place. I'm actually buying some DOT in this range just because this is like super crazy oversold. If we measure from top to the drop, I mean, that is an 89, almost a 90% drop. Crazy oversold. So again, if we are to see a mid-cycle rally with BTC starting to move up higher, it makes complete sense for DOT to also follow. And I would not get greedy. I'm looking at taking profit just under here because the TBO the TBO support line right here, the green line, is super long. And whenever I see these long lines for resistance or support, I really pay attention to those. There's a good reason why it's so long. Plus, we also have clear support right here because this is our V bounce. So taking profit at 10 is good. And then just see what happens with the rest, sure. But not getting greedy. Not at all. Not getting greedy at all. Great. So I hope you guys enjoyed the new look and everything. This took maybe a little bit more time than I wanted to, but I just got tired, right? Got to change it up. I didn't want to wait till January 1st either. So let me know what you think about this as well, this setup, if it's not too distracting. Stay safe out there. Be careful. I am expecting, well, I am personally trading against Bitcoin a lot more right now, and I am expecting a little bit of a move up until December, but after that, things could be dropping again. So just stay safe. If you need more help, more insight, join the club. Get a live stream coming on Monday. I talk good. And until the next time, you know what to do. Stay awesome and stay in the green. Peace.